So good evening everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, so I hope you all are doing good. Yeah, so then let's start today's session, okay? Okay, before going into that, let's see what are the things we learned in last session. Okay, 3D design. 3D design, right? Okay, 3D design of what? What design we made? House design or home design, we can say, right? We used solid objects, then whole objects. Yeah, we combined all these together and we made a design of a home, right? Yeah, we aligned all these together and we made a design of a home, right? So in the same way we are going to make a design today, a 3D design of a wheel. Okay, here we are using cylinders, torus, round roof, tube, this kind of objects, and we will be adding these objects into the work plan and we will make it some of them as whole objects. Okay, we used solid objects before and we used to cut down these solid objects using whole objects, right? Okay, in the same way we are using these kind of objects in the work plane and we will be making a wheel design, right? Yes, very good. And here we will be starting a new project and we will be adding the object that is necessary to the design, and then we will group it, we will align it, and in the final output we will be having a design of a wheel, and that particular final design will be going into our 3D printer, right? So we will be having a 3D printer in our lab and we will be using the 3D printer for printing the object that we are making. Understood? Now tell me, what is the importance of this 3D printing?
To print something
To print something solid, okay? So I hope you all seen this 3D print technology in a construction field or making food, right? There you may have seen it, right? Yeah. In the same way, if you want to make a new thing, new object, which is not existing one, you can make the design at first and you can put that design into this kind of 3D printers and it will give a 3D model, right? Yes. So that is the purpose of making or purpose of using the 3D printer, right? So when it comes to you, if you want to develop a model or if you want to make a product and if you want to make a 3D design of it, so if you have a thought in mind, you have to bring that idea into real life, right? So that's what we are doing with 3D printing. Okay? Fine. So I hope you all understood the things related to 3D printing, right? Okay. Now let's move on to this part. There are some certain steps we need to follow to complete the design of this 3D wheel. So at first we will be adding a cylinder object and we will be changing the dimensions of it. Okay, it will be kept as a solid object, and the next moment we will be adding a torus. So this one is called a torus and we will be changing the dimension also, its dimensions. And after changing the dimensions we will align with this previous one and then we will group it. So what is the purpose of grouping? Yeah, no, I am asking about what is the purpose of grouping. If we added two objects, yeah, whatever the objects we have selected, it will combine together, right? And it will make a single object. So that's the purpose of grouping. So here we will be using a whole object and a cylinder object. So if you are combining all these together, some of the portion of this cylinder object will be cut down, right? Yeah, this is why the purpose of this step is to make a barrel design. Okay, the initial design of the wheel. So we will be having a model like this and again we will put a cylinder into that, a whole cylinder. Okay, after that we will add or we will put another cylinder object into the main object. Okay, so after each step we will be grouping all the objects together. Then we will be adding a semi-sphere and it will be added into the top and bottom side, but this will be kept as a whole object. Okay, so it will cut down some portion from this bottom and top side. Okay, now there we are adding round roofs. So we will put round roofs and we will make a structure like this by putting one whole object into it. And then we will add these objects like this and we will duplicate it. So it will come as a rim. Okay, a rim part. So our wheels should have a rim, right? So that's the design of this. That's the purpose of this objects. Understood? Fine. So finally, we will be adding one tube into the main object. So this will be the tube, and it will be added to the main object. So we will change the properties, and we will change the dimensions of it. And at the end, we will be changing the colors and we will get an output like this. So this is the design of these are the steps for designing our 3D wheel. Okay, so shall we start?
Yes.
Please open Tinkercad. Did you open? Okay, fine. So let's go to this Tinkercad. So you can click onto this create button and you can choose 3D design. Okay, so it will take you to another interface where we can design our model. Okay, so this is the interface that we are getting once you open this Tinkercad 3D design. Okay, so this will be the work plane. Here we are adding the objects, right?
Yes.
And these are the shapes, basic shapes we can find. And here there are some tools like grouping, align, mirror. So like these kind of tools are there, and on the left side you can find different perspectives. Okay, so you can zoom in, zoom out, fit view is there, and home view. So whenever if you want to go to the first view like this, you can click on to the home view. It will take you to the initial perspective. Okay, and you can use this cube to rotate, and you can view it in any angle. Okay, so let's go to this home. Then we will be adding the first object. So what is the first object? Cylinder, right? So let's add the cylinder from the shapes. Okay, so we have added. Now let's make the changes. Here we will be changing the dimensions to 40, 40, 40, and all the dimension, height, width, length, all should be in 40. Okay, so keep it as 40, and if you want to change the height, you can go to the front view and then you can click on to the point here. So this is the square point, just click on to that and then enter 40. Did you all do it?
Yes.
Now let's add a torus. So this is the torus that we are adding. Just put it over there. Now we are changing the dimensions to 50 and 50. So length and width will be 50 and 50. So change the dimension like this. Okay. Now what else we need to change? Height, right? So now let's go to the front view. Okay. Front view. Then click on to this point. Here we will be changing the dimensions to 35. Okay, 35. We have used the 40 as dimension for cylinder, right? So now we are somewhat a little bit changing the dimension for this torus. Okay. Anyway, we are going to make this object as a whole object, right?
Yes.
So now let's make it as a whole object using the property. Okay, just click onto the whole. Now it will be set to a whole object. Okay, you're following me, right? Okay, now let's go to the home view again. Select all these together. Click onto the align tool. Okay, click onto the align tool and click this one. So you can use the central points, this one and this one. Okay, so when you click this front view, you can see that it is aligned like this, right?
Yes.
Okay, we want this torus on the middle of the cylinder object. So for that purpose, we can use this align tool, this middle point. Okay, now it is lifted from the work plane, right? Now click on group. So we can have an object like this, right? Okay, so did you all do it? Now let's go back to the home view. So here we will be having a shape like this, right? But we don't need this much height. We need to reduce this height to 20 again. So we are converting the size to 20. Okay, 20 in the sense only the height is changing. Okay, not the length and width. Okay, so that purpose you can click onto this fit view, click on the object, then change the dimensions to 20. Okay, so when you look into this object from the front view, we will be having a object like this, right? Okay, so now what else? Yeah, we need to cut from inside, right? So let's put another cylinder object. Before that, we always need to go back to the home view. Okay, go back to home view. Okay, now let's add this whole object, whole cylinder. You can take the whole cylinder from the shapes and put it over there on the work plane. Okay, did you add? Okay, now you can use the align tool. Select the objects together and then go to this align tool. You can choose this X and Y positions. Okay, because our cylinder is already having a height of 20 mm. Okay, 20 mm in size. You can see that it is in 20 mm in size, right? Okay, now we are aligning these two objects like this. Now go to group. Okay, so once you done that, we will be having a object like this. So when you go to this top view, we can see it. Now let's add another cylinder from the shapes. So this will be a solid object, right? Okay, so this will be another solid object, and here it is having the same dimensions of the previous one, right? The whole object. But in this case, we need to change its dimensions. So here, previously it is 20, right? Now we need to change this one to 15. Okay, change the dimensions to 15. And you can use the align tool to organize it. Okay, again use the align tool. You don't need to change the height. Okay, you don't need to change the height. If you are changing the height, you are entirely changing the dimension of the solid cylinder. Okay, just align it like this. Done it. Okay, good. Now let's group it together. Group it. What we have done? What we have done? Yeah, we aligned the cylinder into the middle of this main object, right? So like the same way, now it is become a single object. So we grouped it, so now it is a single object, so we can move it around. See that? It is a single object, right? Fine. Now what else? What do we have to do? Semi-sphere, right? So we are going to add a semi-sphere because we need to cut down the portions from the bottom side and top side. Okay, now let's put a semi-sphere. So this is the semi-sphere or half sphere we can say. Okay, this is the half sphere. Put it over there. Okay. Now here you can see that it is having 20 in size.
25.
Okay, now let's put it to 25. Okay, change the dimensions to 25. And also you can change the height to 5. Okay, height should be changed to 5 and the length and width will be 25. Okay, so the length and width will be 25 and the height will be 5. Okay. Did you do it? Yes. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to duplicate this object. Why? Because we need one on the bottom and one on the top, right? So before duplicating, we are going to make it as a whole object. Make it as a whole object. Did you make it as a whole object? Yes, right. Now duplicate it. How you can duplicate it? You can click onto this one, or else you can use the keyboard keys. Control D. Control plus D. Okay. So when you do that, now it is duplicated. Okay. The only thing you need to do is you can drag it. Okay. Drag it and place it somewhere else. Now we are going to select these two objects. One semi-sphere and the main object. Select two objects like this and then go to this align tool. Click onto this align tool. Use the X and Y axis. Okay. Did you do it? Now group it. Make it as a group. So we will be converting these objects into a single object, right? So now let's see what happened on the bottom side. Okay, let's look around. See that? You can see it, right? Right? Okay. Now what you can do is just click on the object and rotate it like this. So you have to rotate it at 180 degree. Okay. So you can just click on here and you can make it as a 180 like this. So we are taking the bottom side to the top side. Fine. Did you rotate it?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, in the same way we are going to use the second semi-sphere. Okay, let's group it. Before that we need to align it. Click on this align tool and choose the points. Okay, select it, group it. Okay, so when we go to this fit view, we can see from the bottom side it is now cut down the portion of the main object, and the top side we can see we have already cut the top side, right? Yes. Now what else we need?
We need to take round roof and
Yeah, we need to use the round roofs, right? So we need to take the round roofs and make it as the rim of this wheel, right? So how we can do that? So let's go to this round roof. So just go to this shapes, select this round roof. Okay, did you add? Shall we continue? Okay, here in this step we are going to change the dimensions for this round roof. Okay, let's change the dimensions. Make it as 10, and also this will be 10. Okay, and This should be 5. So we will be adding, here we will be adding another object which is a round roof, right? So we are changing the dimensions to 10 here, and also we have changed the dimension here to 10, but there is a slight change. Let's change it to 5. Okay, please do it. This this object is like this, right? So we need to cut down this portion. How we can do that? Yeah, we can use the same round roof and make it as a hole, right? So let's duplicate it. Now we have duplicated it and make it as a whole object. So if you put it down, you can see that it's going down, right? So let's keep it over there. So you can see here from the work plane, it is 2 mm going down, right? So it is now placed at 2 mm from the work plane to the bottom part. Okay, make it as a group. See what will happen. So once you have placed when you place this whole object here, you can use this arrow. Okay, you can use this one to lift it and putting it down. Okay, use the arrow and again group it, so it will become one object. It will become a single object. Here again we are going to make some changes. Let's make this dimension as around 20. Okay, so we will get a shape like this. We will get an object like this. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to put this object on the top of the wheel design. Okay, so how to do that? So let's go back to the home view, go to front view. See here, it should be lifted like a 15 centimeter. Sorry, it's not 15 centimeter, it's in mm, right? So let's lift the object from the work plane at 15 mm. Now click on to this fit view. You can select these two objects and click on align. Okay, are you following me?
Yes.
Now click on to this align tool. After selecting these two objects, click on align tool. You can use this one. Okay, and also like this. Fine. So it will be like this. At first we are making the object like this. We are placing the object like this, and then we are making some changes here. Go to the front view, go to fit view, and in here you can lift this object like this, and then you can rotate it. Okay, just rotate it like this. So just place the object like this. Okay, just place this object like this, and when you see on the front view, you can see it is somewhat matched up. And again we need to put this object into the barrel like this. Okay, so you can lift a little bit, and you can keep this one on the sideways. So if you want to keep this on the sideways, you can use this align tool and you can put it in the center. Okay, change the angle a little bit, and then you can align it as per our need. Okay. Okay, so I hope you all done it. Now, the next step, we are going to duplicate this one. Okay, so how we can do that? Just select these two objects and then go to top view, fit view. Go to top view, fit view. So once you are in top view, what we are going to do is just select the single object, this one. Okay, did you do it? Then make a duplicate of it. Control D. Now this has to be rotated. Okay, a little bit. So you can use this rotation tool and make the changes like keep it in this manner and put it over here. So the purpose of this one is we are going to duplicate this one and then we are adding these we are duplicating these objects and adding throughout this barrel. Okay, so how we can do that? So we will see how we can do that. Here we are going to duplicate it and then we are rotating this object a little bit like this, or else you can okay, so we are putting this one as 45 degree and then add it to here. Okay, so once you added and it is still selected, you can press again this Control D. What it will do is it will duplicate it with the same 45 degree. See that? So whatever the angle you are setting, it will be changed accordingly. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to group all these objects, all these round roofs. So how can you do that? Just remove this one and then select all these objects together and make it as a group. Okay, once you've done that, duplicate it, because on the bottom side we need another one, right? Duplicate it and put it somewhere on the work plane. So here we will be adding this one to here. Now let's combine these two objects. Align it first and then group it. Align it and group it. Okay, now it has become a single object, right? Now it has become a single object. Have you done it? So now it is become a single object. In the same way, we are going to put the other object on the other side. Okay, let's rotate this one. Now listen, here we have added the object on the top, right? In the same way we are adding the other object on the bottom side. So we can rotate the main object and put it in a 180 degree. Okay, so let's rotate this one. So rotate it to 180 degree. Then use this object and align it, group it. After aligning it, group it. So if it is like this, you can lift a little bit and then combine. Okay, now in the next step, we are going to add the tire.
Yes.
Wheel, right? So we need to add the wheel. Here we are using a tube. So this is the tube. Okay. Add the tube into the work plane. Okay, before that, before changing the dimension of this tube, let's change the change the color for this shape. So we will be changing the color to
Black.
okay, let's choose this color. Let's choose this color and then we are going to choose the color for this tube as
Black.
black. Did you do it? Okay, now let's change the dimensions.
Okay.
Here we will be change the dimensions to around, let's choose
60.
yeah, 60. And this will be
60.
60.
And I will be
So it will be somewhat big, right? Let's align it first. Align it using the 3 dots, okay? 3 central points, okay? Okay, yeah, that's what we are going to do next. Now let's go to the dimensions. You have done it, right? Okay. Now let's choose this one. Choose the tube. And here we are going to make the changes. Okay, let's change the wall thickness to around 8. Just change the wall thickness to 8. You can type 8. Okay. Now change the bevel. So this will be changing the shape of this tube. We can put it as 3. Put it as 3. And the bevel segments.
segment is equal to 7. 7 is better.
You can see the changes, right? So when we are changing the dimensions, what will happen? Let's put it as 35. We don't need that much. 30.
25.
Then what about 25?
20 is better.
20 is better. Let's see what is 20.
15.
Let's combine together. So this will be, we'll be using this align tool. Let's use this one. Again, we will be changing its dimension. So it will be what?
90.
18. Let's see what is 18.
90.
Again, we are going to align this one because, see, now it is somewhat correct, right? So what is the dimension? What is the dimension? Please tell me. 18, right? 18. We have changed the height to 18. And if you don't need this much wall thickness, you can change it here. Okay, you can change it to 6. Width. So width has been changed to 50, right? No, 60. We have changed it to 60. So when you look from this all sides, we can see it is perfectly aligned,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You can change according to your need. Now we are ending up. We are going to wind up this 3D modeling.
Yes.
Here in this stage, we are going to group these together. Okay, let's select it. Select all the objects, then group it. So once you group it, it will make a single color, right? It will make it as a single color. So what you can do is you can go to this solid option. You can choose multicolor. Okay. So what and all the colors we chose, which was previously, it will be added to the same objects. Okay. Now this is our final product. How is it? Good, right? Okay, fine. Now this is the stage where we developed a 3D design of a wheel, right? Now what is the next step? Tell me, what is the next step? Yeah, we have to print it, right? So how we can do that? By using a 3D printer, right? Okay, so let's see how we can do that. But before that, we need to convert this file into an STL file. Okay, we need to convert this file into an STL file. .stl file. It is just like, it's a file format. You all know that there are some certain image files ending with .jpg, png, like that, right? Yeah, it is same like that. We are using an .stl file for slicing. So I will show you what is slicing. But before that, we are going to use the STL file. So we need to know how we can export this file into an STL file. Okay. So let's go to this export option. Click on this .stl. But before that, you need to change the file name. Here you can see the file name like this. You can change it to wheel or 3D wheel. Anyway you can use 3D wheel. So we are changing the file name to 3D wheel. And now let's go to this export option. Choose .stl. So when you click onto that, it is showing downloading. So now the file is downloaded. Okay, the particular file is now converted into STL file, so that we can see in the download section. So this is the file. The thing is that if you have a supported software, a 3D file supported software is there, then only it will open. Okay, here I am having a software called FlashPrint. This is the software we are using for slicing purposes. Okay, slicing purposes. So what is slicing? Yeah, the actual word is meant for cutting, right? So that's what is happening here. We are cutting this model into two-dimensional shapes, different two-dimensional shapes, and it will be added like a stack. One by one it will be added. So that's what is happening in the 3D printer. So we need a sliced format for 3D printing. That purpose we are using a slicing software, which is a FlashPrint. And this FlashPrint is supported by this Flash Forge printers. Okay. Okay, so how you can download it? For downloading this FlashPrint software, you can directly go to this Flash Forge website. Go to this download option. So software section, you can see FlashPrint. See that? FlashPrint. And you can choose the particular file. In here, when you open this Flash Forge and when you open this 3D file in this software, you can have a file like this, a model like this. Now in this software you can make the changes if you want. If it is necessary, you can make the changes. So let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, is it fine? Right? Okay. Now if you want to change the dimension, you can also change the dimension here. So how we can do that? You can use these tools here. Here, scale option. See that scale option? So when you click onto that, you can change the dimension here. So now it is set to 60, 60 and 23 in Z axis. Okay. So if you choose this uniform scaling and if you are changing the X axis, X dimension, all the axes will be changed accordingly. Understood? Okay, now we are using a 40 mm in size. So here we will be changing the dimensions to 40 mm. Now it will be changed to 40 mm. Now this is the file that we are using and we are going to convert this file into printable format. So how we can do that? So that's what this start slicing option will do. Okay, the start slicing option will slice the model into printable format. Now we need to choose the printer here by clicking on it, and then machine type, you can choose this Adventurer 3 series because this machine is called Adventurer 3. So that's what we chose here. And now let's start slicing. You can put the default options like this and then click onto this slice. Okay, now it's starting to slice. Yeah, now it's done. Now we can see the slice preview. This is the preview. and this will be our product. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit and then we can see. Here it is showing 49 minutes. Okay, for printing it will take 49 minutes. It is showing the estimated time, and with respect to time we will see how the nozzles are going around. See that? On the first step it will be like this, and it will be making the layers. You can see the layers coming up, right? So one by one it is adding. At the final end we will get the object like this. Okay, now how we can send this file to our printer? So that is the final part, right? So we can send the file to the printer. So here we will be using the same internet connectivity because it is having a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, so it is connected to a network which is connected to my mobile phone, and I am using this laptop which is also connected to my phone. You can search for printers here. So it is now getting a 3D printer. So it is in the list, it is showing a 3D printer which is having an IP address like this. So this is the IP address for this printer.